SimWorld presents Around the Table with E and the Fat Man.
What's up, everybody? It's me, it's the B.O.B., and I'm here with my man, E. E, how are you doing today?
Hey, Bob, I'm doing all right. Hopefully you are too, and hopefully everybody out there in SimWorld is, most importantly.
Oh, I am doing great, and I hope they are too. This is Around the Table with E and the Fat Man. That is E, I'm the Fat Man, and this is the podcast we talk about whatever we want. Today, we figure we'd talk a little bit about, obviously, the biggest stage of them all in SimWorld Prep, the Run to One.
Yep. That's probably the thing on everybody's mind. It's probably appropriate we talk about that. Yeah.
Kind of looking forward to the off season. I don't know, but that's just me.
Well, maybe for some. Hey, I'm liking the fact that we are doing a Monday special, that it's so big that we had to collect our thoughts for an additional day to get this together.
Absolutely. Well, what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about the two teams that we think have the easiest path to the Run to One championship. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna pick. E had a great idea. Pick up the top team that we think probably has the easiest, the top one or two, number one seed, number two seed, that has the easiest path, and then the team that doesn't necessarily fall into that top category. We're gonna go with like a little bit of a dark horse. So E, I guess if you want to go ahead, who's your top squad that you think has the easiest path to the Run to One?
Yeah, well, my top squad, I think, I'll put it this way. I think they definitely have the easiest path to get out of their region, to win their kind of regional, section crown. And that is coming out of the Southern region. I really like how things have fallen into place here for Coach Brad Lee's Southeast Select Squad. And actually, I'll tell you, I think that this is a great case that illustrates, that these seedings really matter. Because I don't necessarily know from watching them all year long, if I could really tell you that the top three teams in the Southern, Gulf Coast, the Yacht Club, and Southeast, do I think that one of these is head and shoulder above the others? Do I think that Southeast Select is like a lot better than these two teams? No, I don't necessarily think that. But what I do think is by being the number one seed in the Southern region, first they get the Indy Stripes right off the bat, and they should beat the Stripes. Sorry, my Stripes, but that should be a Southeast win. And then you're talking about a next round game. You're going to get the winner of AT Aliens and Queen City Kings. Now, on the other side of this Southern region bracket, you're going to have, assuming that they win their first round games, Yacht Club and Gulf Coast on a collision course in the second game of this, and one of those very good teams is going to be out at that point. Is going to have played two games again, assuming they win their opener even. But I think that's just a huge advantage for Southeast. I think if they had tripped up maybe their last couple games and, a Gulf Coast had snuck in there to that number one spot, I might be talking about Gulf Coast right now for the same reason. It's not necessarily about the Southeast lineup. It really is kind of their path here. And I really do like them to kind of come out and get into the Final Four. You can make an argument that their path to the actual literal run-to-one title game is challenging just because they're going to have to face the Founders winner. And if that's the OGs or if that's Beasts or if that's Philly, whatever it is, it's definitely going to be a mountain to climb over. But all in all, I really do like the overall path that Southeast has in this, and the reason why I want to talk about it today is because, again, it really does come down to that seeding in this case. And if they were the two or they were the three, I wouldn't be talking about them, but they're the one, and I like the way that the one looks in that Southern region a lot.
Yeah, it's a good pick. I'm not necessarily going to agree with you, though. I am going to stick with the number one seed, though, and I'm going to have to go with the Neo region winner, Cascadia. When I look at that region, I don't see a way for them to fail before they reach the Run to One championship game. They're going to play Beyond the Arch in the first round. The second round, they're going to either face a shorthanded Bay Area Breakers squad or they're going to face Jafet Towns.
Dime Hardaway back helps, but I get it.
Yeah. Then once they get past that, it's like between Heartland stumbling for the second half of the season, Rocky Mountain, you never really know what you're going to get. They have a really good scoring offense, but you really never know what you're going to get.
That's right.
Best Coast has a solid squad. Showtime, I don't think Showtime really has a chance to even get out of that first round. But I just think
probably not.
of all of them, and then you add in kind of how you talked about your struggle with Southeast Select is once they get out of their own region and they
Yeah,
face the
that's
Founders
right.
region winner, the NEO
That's
region,
right.
they're going to face the Intercontinental region champion. And I don't know if too many people have a lot of faith in whoever is going to win that particular region at all.
Yeah. Yeah, whoever
Um,
comes out of there, I mean, it's going to be tough. The Neo winner, if it's Cascadia or somebody else, isn't going to walk over the Intercon winner. But all of that said, if you're a coach and you could just go ahead and, stick a pin right now in and say, if we win this, I get the Intercon, or if I win this, I get the Founders, you go Intercon. You just do. Nobody would argue that. Nobody would
Absolutely
argue
not.
that. So I like that pick, and I agree with that pick. And the other, I actually, lay it on the line. Cascadia was the other team I thought talking about as far as a top number 1 or number 2 seed, let's say, pick. But my kind of dark horse pick, somebody that's not in the top half of their rankings, actually does come out of that same Neo region. And you mentioned them for a second. Rocky Mountain Monsters are dangerous. Wildly unpredictable. You were correct. If you were a gambler, you wouldn't, it would give you a heart attack to be laying money on the Monsters, because some nights they look fantastic. Some nights they look terrible. You can't figure out why it works some nights, and other nights it doesn't. There's a lot of talent on that team, right? Guys whose names, like your Dink Pates of the world, but also the Schindlers who've emerged for Rocky Mountain over the course of the season. So much there to like for it to be so inconsistent. But if you actually do look at their path, I think they'll beat Heartland. I know that Rocky's the 6 and Heartland's the 3, but I think that Rocky has enough to get past Heartland in that first game. And assuming they do, I again kind of think that they can and should take. I mean, look, they could lose to anybody, right? They could be faced up with Middle East, and Rocky Mountain could go down. We've seen that. But assuming we're getting some kind of baseline of play out of them, I think that they have a pretty clear path, at least, to get to that championship game in the region, I'm saying, where there's probably going to be Cascadia, and that will be a mountain to climb, but there's no reason they can't get there.
Hold on. Would it be a Rocky Mountain?
Oh, it'd be a Rocky Mountain to climb. It would, full of rocks. But yeah, I do, again, I feel like, play with fire, you're going to get burned, Eric. You shouldn't be saying this stuff. But, Rocky Mountain, almost like a team built to break your heart. But I don't hate their path here, I have to say. Even as a 6 seed, I feel like they have a real puncher's chance to at least get into a game with Cascadia with a final, with one of the final 4 spots on the line.
Yeah, and that's not a bad choice at all. I mean, you look at the team, and offensively, they are just stellar. With Lucas Banks, Justin Bell, you mentioned Dink Pate. Yeah, I mean, you just never know on any given day. Zane Davis is a good 3-point shooter.
Yes, yes, he is. Bondi Thunder. I mean, we go 1 through 10.
Yeah. Well, we'll say 1 through 9. They're a little short, but
Okay, right. Fair enough.
I am going to go with a team out of the Intercontinental region, and I'm going to go with this team because they didn't let me down last year until just one game before the Intercontinental, or one game before then the Race to 1 championship game.
Yeah.
And that's SimWorld Asia Pacific. You just can't. I'm still stuck because Europe has continuously let us down with all the talent that they have had over the first 3 seasons of SimWorld Prep from ground 0 to season 2.
You don't feel like you trust them. I get it.
I can't, and it's really hard for me to just trust international teams in general. Coach Kusa has done an amazing job with Atlantis. He has some stars there that he has really made shine that we weren't expecting a whole lot from. But I just think SimWorld Asia Pacific is being so looked over. They have essentially the same team that they had last season.
That's right.
Yeah, they are playing a little shorthanded, but when you don't have to figure out, oh man, am I going to feed this guy a little bit here just to keep him happy? When you're shorthanded, I mean, you got all your stars from Leonardo Fields, who's really come on this season, It's his first season. Kai Newby, JD Reyes, Victor Soto, they just, from top to bottom, they have the same, essentially exact team, and I think they're going to be very scary. And I feel like their path in Intercontinental Region, I just don't trust the other teams like I trust Asia Pacific, and I think they have the easiest route to get to the Race to One championship. Well, I'll say to the Neo region versus Intercontinental region game, because I don't think they're going to. I don't know if they'll
Yeah.
get past Cascadia or Rocky Mountain, but
Yeah,
yeah,
fair enough. But no, they could actually. I mean, look, Asia Pacific, like a lot of these global teams right now, is just flat out dangerous. I think that the thing that people don't appreciate enough about APAC is that they're so athletic, and I'm not saying like so athletic for a global team. I'm not contextualizing that in any kind of way. They are just super athletic. They're one of the most athletic teams in all of SimWorld Prep, I'd say. If there's a weakness, if there's a danger that can trip them up on their journey here, it's that it's not an amazing shooting team. They don't necessarily put up points in bunches. A lot of the some of these guys have shockingly low field goal percentages, and their team percentage overall is a little bit shaky too. But that said, they play great defense. I like what Coach David Goggins is doing out there in Japan with these guys. And like you were just talking about, this is a veteran savvy team. And even if they only run 7 guys deep, sometimes having that short rotation actually kind of helps you. Well, you see a lot of teams tighten up benches come tournament time anyway. So, I could see APAC. Oceania is dangerous too. Atlantis is dangerous. And of course, Europe. It's going to be really...
I'm sticking with my pick, but I think I made a mistake.
Uh-oh.
Because I completely forgot that SimWorld South America is not going to be SimWorld South America anymore next year. They're losing their
Mm-hmm.
team because of the funding, and I think that they are
Mm-hmm.
going to probably have themselves a little run for one last hurrah. Sorry, Middle East, I know you're not going to have a team next
I
season
was
either, but
like, come on.
I know they don't have a team next. They're not going to have a team next season, but I don't know if I
They
have the
don't got
same
anything.
faith in them. I think Coach Porter is going to he's going to coach his heart out in this last. Yeah, I'm going to still stick with Asia Pacific, but I think South
Okay.
America could
Okay.
probably. I don't want to discount. South America has always been an up and down team here in SimWorld Prep. They started like I don't know 37-0 in season one, and then dropped their next 752 games. So I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But you're expecting a little emotional. I get
yeah,
it. Yeah, a little emotional
absolutely.
push. Okay. I
Well,
like that too.
that I feel like this is a pretty decent episode for a Monday, right?
Yeah, well,
Right?
it's a pretty
Yeah.
decent run coming up, and
There you go.
the action is coming your way. I mean, it's how many days away are we at this point?
It's going to be three
Not
days.
many.
Thursday. 3 days. Thursday.
Okay, 3 days. All right, there we go.
Thursday, 6 o'clock. Run DMV beats
All
the
right,
East. First game. Well,
well, it's 6 o'clock.
yeah,
Go
six
ahead,
o'clock
take
Eastern
about.
time.
I was.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
there
You
we
go
go. That's all I
ahead.
was gonna.
You go
You did it.
ahead.
No, you
I
you
got it.
you
I
you
got it.
already
I
took my
got
line. You took my line.
it. Well, real quick, who's
Yeah.
winning Who's winning the Run to One SimWorld Prep 1-to-1 championship?
Like I've said from day one, it's the originators,
All
the
right.
OGs. Sorry, it
All
is.
right.
I have stood by that. Not day one. I was there before day one. The OGs. Too much defense. Too much Cooper Flag. Too much Coach Alyssa Dodge. One of the biggest coaching names in SimWorld Prep. She brings it every year. She never fails to restock that team with talent. And yeah, I expect
Don't
that they're going to cut down a banner.
don't say that
I mean,
too
cut down
loud.
nets.
Don't say that too loud. Saying that she's one of the prime name coaches out there. You might burn all of SimWorld Prep down. I don't know if you
It's
if
true.
you see
Hey,
what was going
well,
on. They were like, it was like the whole thing was going a little crazy, but
I stand by it. I stand by it. Hey, if you want to take her down a notch, beat her on the court when it
yeah.
matters. And that's going to be started on Thursday.
I'm going to agree with you here, which means I guess we're both going to look stupid when the North beats them. But I'm
I
gonna,
know, right?
but yeah,
That's,
I'm gonna,
that's yeah.
I'm gonna
Yep.
go with the OGs.
Enzo Wolf.
Very
Enzo
good.
Wolf's going to pour in 35, and we're going to look terrible on opening day. That's right.
I don't know. I love me some Enzo Wolf. He's gonna
I'm a
be.
fan.
I'm a big
I
Enzo
don't know if
Wolf
scoring
fan.
30.
I,
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
don't
He might
know.
dish out 30 assists. I don't know.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's
There
it.
you go. So
find
really,
out. Find Alex Rodriguez.
yeah. So really, he's attributing for at least 60 points. There you go.
Yes.
30
Yes.
assists, at least
Yes.
60 points. There you go. All right, E. Well, do you have any final words for the people?
I didn't know, other than 72 hours away, folks. A little bit more than 72 hours, I guess, when this drops still, but not too many more. 3 days. It's the exciting time of the year. We got you got your SWBA finals starting that day too. So a lot happening, a lot to tune into. I'm excited for it. I hope you are too.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for us to have more viewers than the SWBA game one. There you
Step at a time. Step at a
go.
time, Bob.
Well, E, I appreciate you as always, and I hope you have a
As
great rest of
always
your
with you,
week.
Bob.
All right.
Yep, you too. And everybody out there in SimWorld, yeah, get excited. It's happening.
Yeah. Have a great rest of your week, folks.
Later, folks.